Good afternoon, investor and corporate. Welcome to the Digital Roadshow Quarter 1 2022 Performance Review. This session will run about 45 minutes including Q&A. Company will start the session by 30-minute presentation, followed by 15-minute Q&A. During Q&A, investor may leave your question in meeting room chat box or you raise your hand function. We will open your microphone so you can ask the question to the company directly. May I now invite PTT Public Company Limited to start the presentation.
Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to the PTT sessions for the Digital Roadshow. Today we have two speakers, which is Khun Thanaporn Prapapan, our Vice President Investor Relations Department, and my name is Ajima Kongtip, the Senior Investor Relations Officer. So without further ado, let's start the presentation on the next page, which is the key activities that we have done in the first quarter of 2022. The left side is the core business activities. First, PTT Group restructure our power business among PTT Group by PTT acquiring around 10.8% stake holdings of GPSC from Thai Oil. And after the restructuring was done, PTT will directly hold around 55.2% of the GPSC shares. Next, we also restructure our shareholdings in the PTTL or PTT Global LNG, the company that is the main vehicle for the LNG business value chain. After the restructure was done, PTT will directly hold the PTTL at 100%. This restructure following our strategic directions to operate in a fully integrated LNG value chain. And the next one, PTT right now has still capped the NGV retail price at 13.62 baht per kilogram for the taxi and 15.59 baht per kilogram for the private vehicles to help people for their burden during the energy crisis situation. This cap on the selling price has started since November of last year, and it will cap until 15 June. Next one is the agreement that PTT and PTTEP has already signed this gas, condensate, and crude sale agreement for the product from G1 and G2 project that the old concessions has already ended since the April. Another one is the operator for the Yadana gas field will change from the Total to PTTEP, and it will be effective around 20th of July of this year also. Another activities that I want to point out is the last bullet, which is the Thai Oil. That Thai Oil will issue the daily issue shares around 275 million shares following its long-term restructuring of the financial plan. For the right side is the activities for the future energy and beyond business. First, for the future energy, the Arun Plus, the main company that will be the vehicle to invest in the EV value chains of the PTT Group, has set the new joint venture with the GPSC called Nuovo Plus. The Arun Plus hold 51% in this JV, and the GPSC hold around 49% in this JV. The Nuovo Plus will invest in the battery value chain in order to support the electric vehicle industry in Thailand, and current asset of the battery of our PTT Group will transfer to this to JV. And also, Arun Plus has already established the JV with the Foxconn called Horizon Plus. Arun Plus hold around 60% and Foxconn hold 40%. This JV will operate the EV manufacturer business. The FID has already done in April, and they expect to COD at the first quarter of 2024 with the capacity of 50,000 units per year, and it will expand to 150,000 units per year in 2030. And also, Arun Plus has signed the MOU with the CATL, the major battery business globally, for studying the business opportunity in the battery development in Asia. For the beyond business, the Innobic Asia, which is the main company that will invest in the life science business of PTT Group, has already acquiring the additional stake of Lotus Pharmaceutical and Adalvo. After the deal was already done, Innovic Asia will hold 37% stakes in the Lotus Pharmaceutical and 60% in Adalvo. And the performance recognitions will start to recognize since the second quarter of this year. And the last one, JPSC has already divested their investment in the Ichinoseki solar power plants in Japan, following their company's strategic directions to expand in its clean energies and focus in only their targeted country. Next page is the key business driver of the of PTT Group. Overall, petroleum and petrochemical price in this quarter was on the rising trend following the recovery of the global demand as the COVID-19 measurements has relaxations for many countries. So the demand was recovered compared to the last quarter, together with the impact from the tensions between Russia and Ukraine that raised the concern over the shortage of the global supply. So the Dubai price on the top left was averaged at $95.6 per barrel, increasing around 22% from fourth quarter, which was averaged around $78.3 per barrel, according to the Russia-Ukraine, as mentioned. And moreover, the OPEC Plus decisions for their production capacity has might not sufficient if the Russia shortage of might not sufficient for the shortage if the Russia cannot send export the oil. And the fuel oils in the orange line had the same trend with the crude oil price, and it's increased around 22% from last quarter as well. The top right is the natural gas price. For the dark blue line, is represent for the PTT pool gas price that averages from 3 sources. For this quarter is what averaged at $10.9 per MMBTU, which is increased around 34% from the previous quarter, which increased from all sources according to their references price. More especially for the LNG, you will see that on the green line is the JLC, which is the Japan LNG cocktail. This price quite represent our long-term contract price that currently PTT have the long-term contract around 5.2 million ton per annum, and our contract was linked with the JCC and had a lag time for 3 to 5 months. So in the rising trend of the long-term contract also made the pool gas price higher. And moreover, in this quarter, Thailand has to import more spot cargo to fulfill the domestic demand from the shortage of the Air-1 gas field during the end of their concessions. As you can see, it's in the orange line, which is represent the spot LNG price. You might see that the LNG price still at a high level since the fourth quarter of last year due to the higher demand from North Asian and Europe following the winter season. And in the first quarter, the impact from Russia and Ukraine made the concern that the gas supply will be shortage for the Europe as well. So the spot LNG price would make it high as around $85 per MMBTU at the beginning of March, and it's hang around $30 to $40 per MMBTU until the end of March as well. So as we have to import more spot cargoes during the high price, so PTT pool gas price increased a lot in this quarter. For the bottom left is the petrochemical price. As you will see that all the petrochemical price for both olefin and aromatic also increased following the crude oil price and naphtha price. And the bottom right is the FX. The FX is at the quarter one in more appreciated compared to the fourth quarter, as we still have the USD loans in our exposure, so we have more FX gain compared to last quarter, around 600 million more. For the next page is the performance that PTT, for the business that PTT still operate by ourselves, which is gas business and also the trading business. The gas business in overall increased around 2% compared to the last quarter, especially from the GSP, which is stand for our gas separation business. For the gas separation business has higher performance in this quarter due to the higher average selling price that linked to petrochemical price. together with the higher sales volume, especially from LNG, LPG, and propane, as the petrochemical customer has more demand in these two products to substitute their feedstock. As a substitute feedstock of the naphtha is the LPG and propane, and naphtha is rising a lot in this quarter, so they switched to use LPG and propane instead of naphtha. And the TM business, which is stand for our transmissions pipeline, the performance of this business also increased compared to the last quarter, which was from the lower repair and maintenance expense. However, for other business such as S&M, which is stand for the selling and marketing business, the performance of this business was decreased compared to the last quarter. This was mainly from the business unit that we selling natural gas to the industrial customer, because as I already mentioned that the PTT pool gas price has increased a lot, around 34% quarter on quarter, but the selling price that we sell to industrial customer was linked to fuel oil and had a lag time around 3 months. So the increase of the selling price is increased in a lower extent compared to the increase of the pool gas price. So the margin of this business was very squeezed in this quarter. Even though the overall natural gas sales volume was increased compared to last quarter from the power plant customer demand, according to the seasonal factor, because the hydro power plant didn't have so much water level to generate electricity compared to the fourth quarter. For the NGV business, this one is the gas that we sell to vehicle. As I already mentioned that pool gas price was very high in this quarter, and we have a cap on the NGV retail price for taxi and for private vehicle. So the subsidy from this business was increased in this quarter compared to the fourth quarter. And for the others is was from our gas affiliates. The performance of this quarter decreased compared to last quarter, which was from our subsidiaries called PTT NGD, which is the affiliates that also sell gas to the industrial customer and have the structure same as the PTT sell gas to industrial customer as well. So overall, the gas performance increased 2% from fourth quarter. And trading business, you will see the performance of trading business decrease as well. This was from the mark-to-market loss that they have to recognize in this quarter, even though they have higher gross margin following the crude oil price globally and higher sales volume due to the economic recoveries in this quarter. So overall, the business of gas and trading is still maintained at the same level compared to the fourth quarter. Next, let's move on to the whole pictures about PTT consolidated performance. Let's focus on quarter on quarter. For the revenue of PTT Group was increased 10%. This was mainly from the global price, as I already mentioned, that is on a rising trend due to the higher demand and also the concern over the Russia and Ukraine that might make the shortage of the supply side. So the revenue of our group would increase 10%. If you see the EBITDA was increased 41% quarter on quarter. This was mainly from the petrochemical and refining business that have contributed more EBITDA. The refining business had more stock gain in this quarter from the increase of the crude oil price, so they have book stock gain in their book. And also another business that increased a lot is the exploration and production business that has more higher sales volume together with the higher average selling prices. But if you look to the net income, the net income quarter on quarter was decreased 7%. This was mainly from the recognitions in the hugely amount of the derivative loss that's come from our oil hedging price due to the forward oil price was increased a lot. So we have to book derivative loss in our account. Next page, please. For this one, the waterfall, I just want to point you out more about the factors that make the net income decrease. You will see on the left side, the margin and the stock gain of our operating profit is increased, and you can see in the green bar on the left. But the factor that made net income lower in this period what come from loss on the derivative on FX that you will see in the red bar on the right. Next is the financial positions. PTT Group still has strong balance sheet. We still have the total asset around 3.3 trillion, which is increased around 8% compared to the end of 2021. The asset was increased from the inventories and account receivable following the higher average global price together with the higher inventories volume. And the liabilities also increased from the interest-bearing debt as we have more short-term loan, more long-term loan, and bond issuance in this period. For the equity also increased from the net income contribution also. If you look on the right side is the leverage ratio. PTT Group still manage our leverage ratio to be under our policy, which is 2 times for net debt to EBITDA and 1 times for net debt to equities. And we still maintain our credit ratings at the sovereign level. It is a Baa1 for Moody's and BBB+ for S&P Global and Fitch ratings. That's it. So let's Khun Thanaporn elaborate you more about our guidance and outlook.
Okay, for our outlook for this year, we expect that the Dubai price will be average in range of 98 to 103. Compared to last year, it's already around 69 $2 per barrel. The support of increasing in Dubai price come from the dependent crisis in the Ukraine, as the US, Canada, UK, and many EU countries imposed the sanction to the Russian oil. Other outlets as well, such as in the Libya, also the recovery demand for is easing the lockdown in many countries. However, for the pressure will be like the increasing in supply for the OPEC Plus, as well as the correction to release the strategic petroleum reserve from the EIA member countries will be the pressure of the Dubai price. For the refined products, we will increasing along with the Dubai price as well. Trust the Singapore GRM will be improved. This year we expect that the Singapore GRM will be around 10 to 11.5 US dollar per barrel, compared to last year around 3.4 US dollar per barrel, with support by strong gasoline demand as well as a middle distillate crack spreads. For the gas, for the LNG spot market, this year we still expect that LNG spot market will be around $33.8 per MMBTU, compared to last year's around $18.5 per MMBTU. That support from the geopolitical tension between the Russia and Ukraine. The European country will import more LNG to substitute for the gas from the Russia, as well as the Russia LNG supply projects. They have some delay. The pressure will be on the COVID outbreak and lockdown in China. Next page for the petrochemical outlook. For this year, we expect that both olefin and aromatic price will be increasing according to the feedstock cost. For the olefin, we expect to be in range around for the HDPE around 1,350 to 1,400, and for the PP will be around the same price as well, 1,355 to 1,425. The support will come from the strong feedstock cost to support the price, as well as the tightened Asian supply, and also the expected downstream demand recovery from the easing of lockdown in China in the late of the second quarter, also in the second half as well. However, the pressure will come from the additional capacity that will gradually increasing, especially in the China throughout this year. For aromatic, for the benzene, we expect that is to be in range of 1,118 to 1,168, and also for PX will be around 1,132 to 1,182. The support will come from the strong feedstock cost to support the price and lower Asian supply and also expected the SM and the PTA, which is downstream for the PX, the demand will be recovery. However, the pressure will come from the additional capacity that will coming in, as we already mentioned. The naphtha price also expect to be increased in line with the Dubai price as well. So next page is our guidance for this year. For this year, in terms of business outlook, For exploration and production, we expect that the volume will be increasing around 12%, and also the unit cost will be flat compared to last year. Thus, the average selling price also increasing along with the Dubai price as well. For the gas business, the demand is slightly declining compared to last year, as well as a higher gas cost due to the LNG, the spot market that is higher price compared to last year's. Our gas generation plant utilization rate will be in less around 80 to 85% in this year, which is lower compared to last year. Last year, the utilization rate around 90% due to the shortage of the supply from the L1. For the downstream, for the oil, we expect that demand will recover according to the GDP. And for the P&R, the refinery margin, the GRM will be increasing. However, the utilization rate will be dropped a little bit due to they have the maintenance shutdown. For the petchem, even though the petrochemical price increasing, the feedstock cost also increasing, and also the new additional capacity will be pressure on the market price as well. For the power, the cost is increasing from the higher of the gas cost as well as the coal price. However, the demand will also increasing from the recovery of domestic electricity consumption. For the future energy and beyond, this year we plan to expand our EV charger for the Arun Pass around 1,350 units, and for the OR, they will plan to expand another 200 inside the PT station and also 150 outside PT station. For the beyond, we starting to recognize the net income from the Lotus Pharmaceutical, which is listed company in Taiwan that PT bought around 37%. The contribution will starting to recognize in this second quarter of this year. On your right hand side is upcoming projects. This year we will have the 5th onshore pipeline COD at the end of this year. The LNG Terminal 2 as well. Additional capacity around 7.5 million ton per annum. So all in we will have around 19 million ton per annum at the end of this year. For the EV platform, we already announced FID in April, and also for IRPC and Innobic, their non-woven fabric production with capacity around 5.6 KTA will be up and running in this second quarter. As well as for the GC, high value structural plastic resin plant, capacity around 45 KTA will also up and running at the second quarter as well. The last one is for the GPSC, the Alda solar power platform is currently COD, and we will expect the full capacity around 4.6 gigawatt by the year 2023. On the bottom is our maintenance schedule for our gas separation plant. In the second quarter, we have the ethane separation plant major shutdown, as well as the gas separation plant number 2 and number 3 turned down around 23 days. In the third quarter, gas separation plant number 4 major shutdown around 20 days, as well as quarter 4 gas separation plant number 5 shutdown 15 days. For the petrochemical plant, also scheduled shutdown at the same time of our gas separation plant. Okay, that's the end of our presentation. So now we open for the Q&A. Thank you.
Okay, the section has come to an end. So on behalf of the Stock Exchange of Thailand, I would like to thank you, investor and corporate, for joining the conference. We look forward to welcome you all again in the next quarter. Thank you very much and have a good day. ขอบคุณนะคะ
Thank you very much. Thank you. ขอบคุณค่ะ